My Hero Academia, or Boku no Hero Academia, is a Japanese manga created by Kohei Horikoshi in 2014 for Weekly Shonen Jump. And who am I kidding? You guys know this already. I want to talk about My Hero's ending and why I think it's the quintessential ending to any manga. Oh, sorry, specifically to the story Horikoshi wanted to create. I got you with that. I could already hear the angry typing. I'm not going to talk about the superb and insane art that can't be rivaled by any recent manga artists, or the amazing fights with incredible and easy to read choreography. Nah, we're going to talk about the story's ending now that it's finally ended almost a year ago in August. Is the whole story perfect? No. Or there's some plot holes and storylines dropped or left unanswered for a long while? Yeah. However, I've seen a whole lot of hate for the ending, especially from those people. I want to throw my hat in the ring and give my small wisdom and 2 cents for the series, which I love so much. Obviously, there's going to be spoilers. Deku's goal from the very beginning was to become like his idol. From page 1, All Might. We know this already, like, come on, that's the GOAT. That's our GOAT. In the final fight with Shigaraki, in the final war, the final trump card to defeat him was to forcefully transfer Deku's One For All to Shigaraki and destroy All For One from the inside. There were great panels and pages of the past vestiges of One For All, talking about how One For All was Deku's grail, basically his life blood, bruh, the treasure that he received from his greatest hero. And we see a grief-stricken Deku come to terms with what he has to do. And after the final battle is said and done, Shigaraki / All For One is defeated. Deku has officially lost One For All, with only the embers remaining, soon destined to fade with time. Talking to Bakugo and All Might after the war, Deku talks about how he's okay with the outcome since he was quirkless to begin with. And I'm gonna be honest, I found that pretty stupid. I was like, wait, what? In my personal stages of the 7 deadly sins, I was kind of bargaining. I was in denial. I was thinking, wait, Horikoshi's gonna pull a gotcha, right? And reveal that Deku kept One For All somehow, due to him and Shigaraki sharing a bloody fist bump. But no, he actually lost it. Like, come on, I'm not the only one who thought this, right? The manga ended with Deku being given an armored All Might-like suit for him, fan titled Armor Deku, reuniting with his friends in hero work, and for some reason, this ending got so much fucking hate. I was a little bit sad that Deku didn't keep One For All in the end, but it quickly went away when I thought about it for a bit. It's not the quirk that makes the hero, it's the person. Deku isn't an amazing person because of the quirk that was given to him. He's amazing because he saves people with a smile, no matter how things go for him, and lets others breathe easy due to the defeat of One For All. Sorry, All For One. How can he be mad at the person who All Might considers his greatest hero for saving everyone with a smile? All Might says that Deku became his hero when he ran towards a hostage Deku back in chapter 1 without a quirk, might I add. In the past, when Shigaraki was a kid, an elderly lady was scared to approach him and thus couldn't quote-unquote save him. And then we see that she still thinks about him, wondering if he's okay. After the final battle, another kid, Koki, arrives, angry and vengeful at the world because of what his parents did. And the same grandma arrives, this time reaching out to Koki, saying that Deku specifically instilled something within everyone. Instead of just rooting for him, they should do something. And that's what she's doing. She's saving potentially multiple lives by saving one life. Deku created a world where heroes have time to spare since civilians save one another. A world where civilians save the hero. A world where they're all the greatest heroes. I also want to point out that in Deku's very first fight, he's a quirkless young man rushing to save someone from a villain. And in his final one, he's doing the exact same thing. It shows that it's not the quirk, man. And I hear what you're saying, but Deku didn't become like All Might. All Might was the #1 hero in Japan. Deku didn't do shit. He just went to put the fries in the bag. He said he was going to become the #1 hero and he didn't do it. Wah, wah, wah. I'm not entirely sure where people got the idea that Deku said he became the #1 hero when he clearly never did. From the start, at the end of chapter 1, Deku said that this is the story of how he became the greatest hero, and after the Dark Heroes / Dark Deku arc, how they all became the greatest heroes when everyone saved Deku. I don't want to put my friends on blast, but I'll use them to prove a point. This was immediately after leak night, so the official chapter didn't even release English. My boy here said, "It's more ass if you pay attention to the first episode. My story of how I became the #1 hero. Bro was #1 for like a week, and my other boy says, none of them are even top 20. I want to tackle this part of the message first. In chapter 431, it's revealed Kirishima's #12, Bakugo started at #4 and then dropped to #15, Todoroki is #2, and so on. You're probably saying, wait, but these messages are from leak night. And yeah, I was just trying to check if you were paying attention. In 430, the official final chapter, none of the official rankings are revealed, except Deku says he's going to surpass Mount Lady and Kamui Woods and go toe-to-toe with Togata, the top hero. So we can infer that Todoroki's at least top 5, like #4. Moving on to my friends clowning on Deku, I said, alright, I'm gonna rewatch and see if he said that. Speculative that Deku said #1 because I don't remember him saying that. And they said he did. And I say, nah. And my boys say, brother, I saw the manga. Bro, on Moms, he says it. I literally just read the first chapter today. And I know my boy was fucking lying. Like, come on, I'm not retarded. You're talking to... Alright, in my friend group, I'm the only My Hero Glazer. No, my bad. There's another one. But like, come on, bro. Don't fucking lie to me. And I was like, nah. And he says, that is exactly what he says. And my other boys are like, okay, not verbatim. Because you're sort of sensing that he stepped into the wolf's den, right? And then my boy was like, no, verbatim says that. So my bros, they're fucking liars. I watched the second episode, and this is when Deku says, by the way, I forgot to mention that this is the story of how I became the greatest hero. And I know what you're thinking. The anime, the manga is way more accurate. What the fuck? That was probably a mistranslation. So I say, okay, let's go to the official English manga from Viz's website. At the end of chapter 1, Deku says, I forgot to mention this, but this is the story of how I became the greatest hero. Now, I know what you're gonna say. English translations in the manga aren't always accurate. And to that I say, alright, let's go to the official Japanese manga then. Now, my Japanese isn't perfect. I only took one semester of it, and that was it. But I could read it. And at the end of chapter 1, Deku says, Kore wa boku ga saiko no hiro naru made no monogatari da. Sorry. So, kore wa is, this is, boku ga is me, or my, whatever. And I know I'm using Google. It's not the smartest, but I kind of want to show you guys. Psycho means the best, not #1. Otherwise, the sentence would have said nanba one, right? Or something similar to that. Hiro is obvious. Narumade is like become, whatever the fuck. And Monogatari stands for story. So yeah, there's your Japanese 101. It's not Kore wa boku ga #1 hiro narumade no monogatari da. It's Psycho. Fuck. And 431.5, the bonus chapter in the final volume, it's revealed that 8 years after the final fight, when everyone's grown up and shit, Deku is still lauded at. They still talk about him. He's the GOAT. And with his armor, jumps to #4. And Bakugo jumps to 5 after it was revealed that, he went from 4, jumped down to 15. So basically, you're telling me that Deku still inspires people, Bakugo, for example, to do better and rise up when the whole story is about rising? Every fucking chapter, every now and then, it'd be like Todoroki rising, Bakugo rising, and one of the last chapters is called Izuku Midoriya rising. Like, come on, bruh. Deku was at least in the top 100 in the hero rankings as a quirkless person as a teacher, because the rankings have to have popularity weight in the ratings. That's why Bakugo jumped down, because he's not super popular with the people, but he's a very good hero. So yeah. What happened to people still seriously believing that Deku only flipped burgers after he lost One for All? Because it turns out he's still that guy. He's the GOAT. I've also seen people believe seriously that as soon as Class 1A graduated and Deku lost One for All's embers, everyone in his class stopped fucking with him. And I thought it was a joke. I was laughing at first, but people weren't joking. They actually think that this deadass happened when it said that Deku and his classmates have a harder time meeting up. And I just don't want to bring it up because I fucking hate the My Hero dub. But at the end of episode 2 of the first season, Deku says,
"Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that this is the story of how I became the world's greatest hero."
And he doesn't say number 1. So yeah. And since we're tackling the manga ending, I don't want to talk about this too much, but people were seriously pissed that Deku didn't end up with Bakugo and sent the author death threats. Holy shit. That's fucking crazy. I also think Deku's confession to Uraraka was pretty perfect. Yeah, I think it was a nice culmination. It was in character. Deku says that he loves everyone equally, but he wants to spend more time with Uraraka, and Uraraka's like, all right, bet. But yeah, basically, Deku willingly gave up his quirk fighting the man who can destroy Japan and possibly the world if he touched the ground with his fingertips, became a extremely successful teacher in UA, a hero in the top 5 rankings sooner or later, ended up with the girl of his dreams, possibly, damn near, it's like 99% confirmed, and still inspires people to save others like 8 years later. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, I don't think the story of My Hero was the best ever. Sometimes I was like, what the fuck is happening? This is some fucking bullshit. But the ending was something that truly inspires real people to grow and be their own hero. I love it when a fictional character wants people like me and you to strive and achieve a fraction of what this cluster of pencil drawings has achieved. Well,
probably not you specifically. I think it's a metaphor.
But yeah, let me know what you thought about My Hero's ending. Did you like it? Did you not? Did this video change your opinion a bit? Yeah, that was it. Peace out.